maybe 30 minutes of sleep. But we out of here. Is there Haitian food here?
Huh?
Is it?
Yeah, we do have Haitian food, but it's across the river, and I'd have to deliver it to you.
Wow, Fiji. Oh my. Lynn, really?
They know everything when I fell, though. Lynn.
Oh my gosh. No. Just happened to me in Jacksonville. And my mom was like, you have like family there. And I'm like, oh duh. Like, I wasn't even thinking about that. I could have just been with you.
Your big booty Judy self.
No, not even. What's the story with these buildings? Are they like abandoned or are they still?
You know what? When I moved to Chicago was after Katrina, and I have no idea what they did with these buildings. Sure, some look abandoned, some don't.
That was so So cute. Hello, hi. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I hope my mic is acting right. It took like a million tests to try to figure out the best way to have this running. So I hope the sound is good. I hope the sound is clear. Hello, and thank you for tuning into my stream today. And if you're watching the replay, hello, how are you? How's it going? So you guys just watched my NOLA vlog. It was NOLA day 1. I recently went to New Orleans, and it was just such an amazing trip, such an amazing time, just kind of like talking to people and seeing and eating and enjoying. It was just it was an amazing, rejuvenating trip. And in today's stream, I'm going to be talking about kind of like how I capture moments and tell stories while I'm traveling. And this is not something that I have figured out, right? Like, I'm still starting off with this, but kind of like talking about what works for me, and from my past experiences, what has helped me, go at my own pace and tell the stories that I want to tell. Before I even get into this, let me introduce myself. I even introduced myself. My name is Lynn. I'm a photographer. I'm a storyteller and explorer. And I like to go places and see things and talk to people about the way of life that is different than mine, and kind of like gain a new perspective. And yes, so a couple weeks ago, I visited New Orleans, and it was just such an amazing time. And yeah, I don't know, the place, the food, the generosity, the hospitality, the respect, the joy, something about that place. It was just so amazing to be able to witness and kind of like be a part of. And so yeah, we're going to talk all about kind of like when I'm traveling, how I capture moments, how I point, like how I tell stories that I care about and what matters to me. And just like, I don't know, like basics of like traveling and telling stories and all that. So first of all, okay, I have to pull up my notes, y'all, because it's getting real. I mean, I just want to start off by saying, when you're traveling, don't share your location in real time. Like, don't do that. Like, this is just a disclaimer. Please do not share your location in real time. What works for me when I travel, like, I mean, I guess if you're like creating content and you want to be able to say, yes, I was here, I was eating at this restaurant, you can like tag the country or tag the city, and then afterwards, maybe after you leave, please wait till after you leave, and then you can be like, oh, I was at Cafe du Monde, which is on this street, or I was at this restaurant on this street. Never share your location in real time. Yeah, that's just like, folks are crazy, okay? I personally believe that humans are innately good, but also you just don't know. People just be out here wilding, and you have to protect yourself at all costs. So that's just getting that out of the way. But my first piece of advice, I mean, well, whatever, like the first thing that helps me, I don't really know how to word this, but like all you need is your phone. All I need with me is my phone. As you can see, like from the vlog, some moments were recorded through my vlog camera, which is what I'm streaming on right now, the ZV-1. But a lot of times it was just so easy to just be like, pull my phone out of my pocket and just like start recording. It's just like your best camera is whichever one is on you at all time, and it's your phone. And so really all you need is your phone, especially if you're starting out and you're watching this and you're like, I don't know what camera to buy, and I don't want to start traveling and exploring. All you need is your phone. I remember like, first of all, I can't believe I've been shooting on my phone for like, I want to say 7 years now, if not more. I've always been shooting on my phone. The first time I ever knew I wanted to do this was when the last time my family visited Haiti, which was in 2015. And I had my little white iPhone 5C, and I was taking pictures at the beach and people and faces and places. And that's when I was like, oh, I think I want to do this for real. And you know, a couple years later, to one, be doing this work for real, and two, still be shooting on my phone, that says a lot, right? So basically when I travel, I have with me my Sony a6000. That's my go-to. That's my baby. Like, that's my right hand. And now I just added the Sony ZV-1 to kind of like help me when I'm like working and shooting stuff. But this just comes in handy, okay? Next piece of advice, one thing that I kind of like try to figure out with myself and be real with myself about is like, what do I, like, if I capture anything, all the stuff that I create from this trip, what do I want to use it for, right? Like, am I using it for personal use, as in like keeping it for me, for my friends and my family, or just to share with like my siblings? Oh, I'm here, I did this, I took this picture. Or is it for content, right? Is it something that you're sharing instantaneously, informational? And then content is like, you're sharing stuff for viewership and engagement. So it's like, I was here, I ate here, 5 Black-owned restaurants in this place, these shops, da-da-da. And so it's like, it's reels, it's vlogs, it's like IG stories, daily content sharing, because you're just like sharing as you go. And another method of, storytelling and how to figure that out is actual story. So there's personal use, and then there's content, and then there's story, which is like more structured and nuanced, and you're kind of telling it through different mediums, and you're trying to figure out, like, you want to tell a story about a place, and it doesn't have to be instant, right? It doesn't have to be like through IG stories or whatever, but you're really taking your time to kind of like put a narrative together. So examples that I can give of that, in terms of personal, in July of 2021, my family and I, we took a vacation to Puerto Rico, and before that trip, I knew that I didn't want to create content. Like, I'm not creating for the internet. This is for me. I want to be present with my family, and I want this moment to be for us. And so, like, I still brought my camera with me, y'all, because obviously, like, that's my right hand. But I was really present. Like, I didn't shoot anything. I wanted to be present in the moment. So that was personal use. Okay. Another example is when I did my artist residency, November 2021, near Martha's Vineyard. Like, that was content, and I challenged myself. I was like, every day that I'm there, I want to write something every morning. I used to wake up like writing every morning. I really wanted to work on my writing. I was taking pictures, so there's that. And I was on TikTok and Reels every day. Like, I don't care, put some type of video, even if it's like the bathtub at sunset, I don't care, put some type of video together. And so that was content, right? Because I'm sharing things as I go, and I challenged myself. And then when I think about this trip in New Orleans, like, that's a story that I want to put together. There's going to be a writing component, there's the video stuff, there's the photography, and I don't feel rushed to share it right away. I want to take my time to edit the photos, to edit the footage that I captured there, and that's a more story. It's a story, right? It's nuanced, it's structured, and I want to take my time to kind of share it. So yeah, when you're traveling, first of all, if you're not a content creator, don't feel the need to create content, because I think, like, especially nowadays with like everybody, when people go places, they're sharing stuff. So like, people start to feel pressured, like, should I be creating content? If you're not a content creator, if you're not a storyteller or a photographer, like, don't feel pressured to create content. I know I've been in conversation with friends recently who are like, yeah, like, I want to have my personal brand together. And I'm like, do you even want to do this? They're like, well, no, I just want to have my personal brand, and I feel like my IG should be like, no. If you're using it for personal use, enjoy that, and share what you want to share when you want to share it, just getting it out of the way, because with Instagram, you do feel like you need to share when you're going somewhere, share everything, but if you don't want to, that's cool. Like, do you? And my third point is be present and go at your own pace. Okay, one thing about me, I'm going to enjoy myself, right? And that, again, goes back to like FOMO and the internet and all the anxiety surrounding it. You feel like you need to share the thing as it's happening, and especially like, like when you're traveling, I don't know if you guys experience this, but like, if I'm like out of town and people are like, oh my gosh, girl, what are you doing? Da-da-da. I want to see more. So now you feel pressure to share more and more, but that's why I don't do that no more. I don't post on IG stories. If I'm going to post something, I'll post it a couple of days later or when I'm back. And I want to enjoy myself in the moment. Like, you're on this trip, whether it's for personal, whether it's for fun, whether you're with your family, whether you're traveling solo, have fun, like, enjoy the moment and just be present. And, share what you want and create for yourself too. Like share, you're like, you know what, I had this moment this morning, or like I saw the sunrise. Okay, I think I want to share that. But like while I was walking down the road, I got into a conversation with a local person, and I think I want to keep that to myself. And so you decide what you want to share and just be present. An example of that was when I was in Puerto Rico. One of my final nights in Puerto Rico before I came back, I sat in conversation with my friend Tanisha Lopez. The vlog is on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out. But I think it was Puerto Rico week 3. We sat down, we were talking. I mean, it was just such an amazing conversation. We talked about motherhood, we talked about creativity and identity and kind of like finding yourself, and she's pursuing music, and we talked about what that's like. She's like touring the world with this amazing, huge band from Puerto Rico, and finding herself in creativity and self-care. It was just such a dope conversation, and I recorded it, and I was like, dang, I don't want to share this. And I deleted it, y'all. I know, I deleted it. That's another point. But like, I was like, no, I want to keep this to us. I want to keep this like very intimate moment that we shared for us. And so I didn't share it in a vlog. But I did share like a small portion of when we were talking about how like her mom basically immigrated to Puerto Rico from Dominican Republic on a boat, y'all. You know, it's like again, sitting down and having these intimate conversations and getting to know people on like a much deeper level, which was such an amazing conversation. But yeah, Puerto Rico, week 3 or week 2? Week 3. Puerto Rico, week 3. Check it out. It was really, really dope. But yeah, like capture the moments that stand out to you. What, like, I don't know, like, that's what I'm learning, especially like when I leave somewhere, my brain will be like, it will be red like 3 days later. My brain is like, remember when you saw that thing and you wanted to take a video of it and you didn't? Well, I'm gonna keep reminding you because you shoulda. And I'm like, dang. And so like if it stands out to you, just capture it. I mean, again, if you're gonna be present in the moment, be present. Like, oh my gosh, just gonna sit here and listen to this jazz band play, but if you want to document it, cool. And then after that, you can decide if you want to share it or not, and that's your business. All right. Point number 4: ask lots of questions. Okay, one thing about me, I'm gonna ask questions, like, because I want to know things. And when you're like, I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, locals are more than happy to tell you about like the history of the place and the things, the hidden gems that you don't find out about like on tourism boards and tourism guides. It really gets, you get like an intimate look at this place that you are new to. And there's always open to answering questions. So when you're walking down the street, when you're in Uber rides at the restaurant, whoever's serving, like ask random people questions. If you're like, you're buying souvenirs, be like, what's your favorite spot here? You're in an Uber, where can I get my nails done? Or whatever the thing is. So I completely random. I got my nails done in New Orleans, so my nail was broken, and I told my sister like I need a black owned nail salon so I can get my nails done, because if I'm gonna do my nails anyways, I might as well be supporting black business. You know what I'm saying? So she couldn't find any, but anyway, so yeah, we're heading out to brunch, and I'm like, so that we're in the car, and I'm like, were you able to find like a black owned? And I'm not ashamed. I am not ashamed. A black owned nail salon so I can get my nails done. And the driver overheard us, and he kind of giggled and whatnot. And so when we got to a brunch spot, I was like, hey, do you have any recommendations for us? If you don't know what to ask and spark conversations, like that itself will spark a conversation. Just ask them, like, what's your favorite spot? Or like, what would you recommend us check out while we're here? We're here for a couple of days. And they will literally give you an entire itinerary. I kid you not. It works every single time. But basically he was like, I overheard you say that you want to support black business. I was like, yeah. He was like, well, you know that the brunch spot you're going to is not black owned, right? I was like, I know, we were trying to find a black owned spot. And then he was like, oh, there's this place, this da da da. Things like that. Like if you're looking for a barbershop, be like, where the black people at? I am shameless. Like that's just me. Like I love to support black business, and I love to see black business blooming and thriving. And if I'm gonna spend the money anyways, You know what I'm saying? What else? Yeah, ask them about their favorite spots. Support local business wherever you go. Support local business. You know what that means. Like I don't have to say anything. Also, when as I said, you're asking questions, you're talking to people, you're asking about the histories of places. When you're talking to locals, just ask their permission before you record their face. That's just human courtesy. Yeah. Just like, if somebody came here or something, or wherever I am, and they're like, I want to know everything about this place, and with a camera in my face, I'd be like, chill, but if like the conversation is flowing, y'all vibing a little bit, you can kind of be like, hey, this is a dope conversation, are you okay with me recording it? And if they say no, it's a no. And you can record the floor, you can record the trees. As you can see, like as you saw in the vlog that I started the stream off with, I was asking about the buildings. I was so intrigued about this place, and it's like literally in every vlog, I kept asking, I'm like, what is the history of these buildings? Because they look abandoned and all of that. But yeah, you can hear the driver's voice, but I was recording outside of the window. And so just try to be mindful of that. And also, back to point number 1, your phone is the best camera that you can have. And it's less intimidating. This is less intimidating than a camera and a mic in your face. What were you saying about the history of New Orleans? Like, let me just grab my phone real quick and just, you know what I'm saying? And so, yes, support Black-owned business, period. And then, so yeah, it's just like less intimidating. Point number 5. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. Point number 5, back it up. Do you have a wristband? Let me show you what I mean by wristband. Do you have a wristband? Back it up. Like everything that you do, make sure that you back up your work, whether it's photos, videos, specifically. I don't know. Like everything is important. Obviously, you captured it. You don't want to lose it. Make sure you back up your work. 1 and 2, don't delete. I be deleting stuff on the go, and then I'm like, why did you do that? Like, why did you do that? And you can't recover it. I can recover stuff, but like that takes forever. So when I travel, basically I have a dedicated SD card in my vlog camera and in my photography camera, right? I know that this SD card is for this trip only. If I mess around, if something breaks, if something is damaged, I don't have like something from a shoot, and then like I lose not only the photos from that shoot, but also from that trip. It's too much stress. Like it's too much, right? And so the SD card that is in my vlog camera, I will do whatever vlog footage from day 1. That night, as soon as I get home, don't wait, okay? You just never know what's gonna happen. So I take the card and I move everything to my hard drives. And after that, keep it pushing, right? And you're saving space, you're creating space on your SD cards. Don't delete. Like photos, that happens to me so many times where like I go somewhere, and especially if I'm like editing on the go, I just grab a couple of photos and then I delete the rest. And I don't even look through them. And I'm like, oh shoot, is that all I got? And so even if I only imported 2 or 3 into Lightroom to edit, there's like a whole bunch of more good ones that I just deleted. And I'm like, why did I do that? So yeah, pack everything up. And then another piece of advice, that's what has worked for me, but I always travel with a journal. I write, I journal, I write essays. And I just like to recall every little moment that I experience, and I write everything down. I am the girl that writes everything down. You want to know how? This is how I write, okay? This is how I travel journal. Actually, before I even start, I understand, right? There's different ways to do it, or maybe you don't even care about writing that much. I think it's important. Actually, let me start with that. It's important because it will help you to recount moments. Like again, later as you're putting a story together, you can there are certain things that escape your mind that you don't remember, right? And so you can refer back to that journal, like, oh, that day these are the things that happened. And maybe if you're writing an essay later, or if you're putting a vlog together, you can remember how things happened, or just to have for yourself, right, to remember that moment, that day, that experience, that encounter that you had. Yeah, I personally, that's all that matters to me. And I just want to remember every single thing that I did while I was there. Like, come on, like, it's just so dope. So I have a journal for Puerto Rico for July and November. And then there's a journal that I started for NOLA. And it's just like, you know, today, for example, okay, so yeah, here's the example. I'm trying to think of a day. Okay, today I woke up at 7 o'clock, I prayed and I did my devotion. We got ready, we left the house, we took an Uber to Esplanada. Like, literally, that's how I'm writing things down, right? Just to, again, to remember these moments, these small things that we kind of overlook and forget about over time. And then we went to Cafe du Monde, and then we went to this park. And then while we're heading to somewhere else, we stopped and had a conversation with these gentlemen, who were telling us about just how much, like, how many hits NOLA has taken over the past couple of years. So obviously Katrina hit, and then Ida hit, and then COVID just completely obliterated, you know, the like, people took major hits. And then, yeah, these two gentlemen, one of them was selling beads, the other one, his name was Leonard. That's all I remember, right? And I'm writing this stuff down. And it's just, again, these little moments. And so, yeah, they were telling us about how much NOLA has changed, and even like why NOLA is having an employment crisis right now, because it's just all of the things. Businesses are shutting down. They took major hits. They couldn't recover. And yeah, even like right now, New Orleans, Monday and Tuesday, certain small businesses are not open, with the employment crisis happening over there. But, you know, things like that. Like, and after that, we took an Uber to this, and then we did and then we met somebody else, and we got into conversation with so-and-so. Kind of things like that. For example, another day, my sister and I went out to eat. And then afterwards, we headed to Frenchman Street to see this art exhibition thing, but it was closed, or maybe we got the wrong address. So we're like, okay, let's just walk to this place. It's other place. It was mad dry, so we're sitting outside chopping it up, and then this gentleman comes up to us, and he's like, look me up on YouTube. Turns out he's like a renowned local artist, well-respected gentleman. And then so we're just like talking to him, we're chopping it up with him and whatnot. And then these two young men are walking by, and they're like, yo, I respect you. Like, I know you, like, you know my cousin or my friend or whatever. And then so they start talking about him, and then just like that, they're like, yeah, he's an OG. Like he's seen the different transformations that have happened in New Orleans, and he definitely knows all of that. And they're talking about, like, you know, after Katrina, just the way the Black community just took such a major hit. They closed down teachers unions, and they cut funding for different and they did that, and they're trying to push people out of the city. These type of stories, like, how can I plan this? Like, while I'm buying my ticket to go to New Orleans, how could I have possibly, like, you know what I mean? Imagine that I would be sitting down on a random street on a random night with two of my favorite people in the world, just having this dope conversation with these amazing strangers, you know? So, yeah, it was just mind-blowing. Yeah, use your photo library as reference. Do morning pages. Let your mind wander. Like, one time in Puerto Rico, this is Puerto Rico in November. I was sitting in conversation. It was a night, right? I met a friend through a friend. I just met so many people, and it was just so amazing and hospitable, right? So I'm sitting there in conversation with this young woman. She's like my age, and so I'm like, what do you do? Like, are you in school? What are you doing? She's like, yeah, like, I was in pharmacy school, but I dropped out of school because, like, student loans were crazy, and they're like asking me to do whatever the internship is called for pharmacy students, and they're asking for like 7,000 hours, which is basically impossible because I have to work and I have to provide for my family and da da da. So basically she dropped out of school and she's like working 3 jobs just to make ends meet, right? And then like I got to know this other young couple who at the time it was like their last couple of days. Now they were like super close. These are my people. By the time they were like leaving for Iowa in like 2 or 3 days. Like they were supposed to leave the next day, but they extended their trip because of me so they can spend more time with me. Well, not really, well, because like they didn't want to leave, but I'm just gonna say it's because of me. And I just got to know them, their story. Like they grew up in Puerto Rico, you know, low income family and all of that situation. And they couldn't do school stuff, and so they're coming to the US in pursuit of a better life and whatnot. These stories, like how could I have imagined? Like honestly, truly, how could I have imagined that I would be sitting down and having these forms of conversations? But yeah, one day, I think like the next morning, I woke up like at like 5 a.m. Something about like being in a new space. I'm just always inspired. I woke up at like 5 a.m. I'm like sitting down. I'm like, yeah, young people in Puerto Rico, da, 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 they're dealing with this, they're dealing with that, life post COVID. Like I literally, an entire article or essay just flew out of me, right? I haven't done anything with it yet, but it's written up, it's somewhere. And I can refer back to it and I can kind of like tweak it and like hopefully share it one day. But you know, just write, let your mind wander. If writing is a part of your, like if it's a medium for you, definitely lean into that and just let your mind wander and have fun, and capture every moment. Yes, and then last but not least, just keep an open mind, right? Like I've been saying, like how would I even be able to anticipate these conversations? Like as I'm booking my ticket, as I'm booking my Airbnb, as I'm settling into the place, how would I imagine that I would have some of these experiences, right? What are the odds? First of all, I mean, but really, what are the odds though? In July, I was like, I need to rent a Black-owned Airbnb because I'm like, need I say more? So I was like, I need to rent a Black-owned Airbnb for my Puerto Rico trip in July. I booked the thing, and the guy is like, oh, I'm from Boston. I'm half Haitian. I almost went to the same college that you went to. Da, 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 da. I moved to New York. I moved to LA. I settled. I came to Puerto Rico, studied here for a couple years, bought a farm, and I'm like, oh yes, perfect. So I get on the farm, and we click instantly. We're doing photo shoots. He introduced me to his friends. He's interviewing me, and I'm like, what? Like for what? And so like kind of these conversations, these things that you don't anticipate, right? And then that's how he invited me to come back on the farm to help him with marketing stuff in November. It's just like these life moments that you can anticipate, right? I think that's the beautiful thing about being an explorer and being a storyteller. It's just the people that you meet and the people that you talk to. Like conversations is actually one of my mediums. I'm sorry, the light, the clouds just did something, but these conversations that you do not anticipate, it's beautiful. It's just so beautiful, and I'm so grateful for all the experiences that I've had. And this is only the beginning. Like I've only been to 2 places, and I'm just so excited just for the future, like traveling and going places and meeting people and hearing about different stories from different places. But yeah, if you're watching this replay, please let me know, like, did any of these resonate with you? Like, or do you want to go further into a point, or do you have an extra thing that I didn't mention? I could even go into like, that's probably like a different stream. I mean, like it's not related, but traveling light, like how to like packing gear, what to bring with you. I used to travel with like all my cameras all the time, and I kind of like figured out a system, traveling essentials and all of that. So, but yeah, if you guys have any like extra points that I missed, or if anything resonated with you, please let me know. Please, please, please let me know. At least I know that like I provided some type of value. But yeah, thank you so much for giving this a watch. Actually, before I go, let me I'm tripping. Let me show you my NOLA photos, and I'll also have them linked below, so you can check them out on my website. And then yeah, I need to edit the other ones, so we gonna figure that out. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Okay, is this the one? Oh, there it is. Why does it look like that? This doesn't look right. Okay. So I'm gonna be taking you guys to my website so we can you see this? Does this look okay? Okay. So this is the stories tab on my website. This is where I like post all of my recent stuff. And yeah, this is NOLA. Oh my gosh. I mean, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. These photos bring me so much joy. I love the colors. This was as I'm standing around, this is Café du Monde. As I'm standing around talking to the two gentlemen, there was a bookstore. It was just full of books. All the, what's it called? The balconies. Ew, there's a picture of me in here. That's just me walking around. But yeah, I just like took so many pictures of the bookstore. The architecture was so dope. It reminded me of Jacques Mel or Cap-Haïtien in Haiti. If you know the influence. But yeah, these photos are just so good. I ain't even gonna hold you. I didn't do anything. I was just clicking. But yeah, the architecture and just the nuances and the vibes. And so we were by Jackson Square in front of the cathedral, and when you go down that street, that's when you see all of these houses and all of these buildings and the beautiful architecture. Oh, and that's a restaurant that was closed because it was a Monday. That restaurant on the corner was closed, and I was able to capture that. But yeah, the gentleman just like going at it, and I got serenaded, which was so sweet. He sang to me. I was like, you better come over here. Yes. But yeah, these are moments from NOLA. That was NOLA day 1, and I'm gonna be updating these and uploading more of them. This is just what I like to do, when I go somewhere, and I just kind of like capture these moments. And it's like when I challenge myself, that's when I find inspiration to like find different ways to tell stories. I've been talking a lot about Puerto Rico. Maybe I'll put up some of my Puerto Rico photos. This is week of 11/15. These pictures are so good. I ain't even gonna hold you. And I went to Puerto Rico. Oh yeah, I brought all my gear with me to Puerto Rico. Absolutely. This was at a beach in Loiza. Oh my goodness. The colors, the palm trees. Wherever the palm trees are at, that's where I'm gonna be. What? This was the Airbnb, the black-owned farm that I stayed at. They have like a, how do you call it? A terraza, like a terrace situation thing, and it's like right in front of the national rainforest, and this was there at somebody's house, and the fact that I was able to capture that. This is my friend Maui, and he took me to this private beach where I got absolutely ridiculously mauled by mosquitoes. And so we went through this secret path over here, and then we ended up here, And then we walked further and ended up here. And then this moment is when we got back here, is when we saw the sunset. Oh, so dope. So dope. And then, so yeah, when we got to that other part, I got mauled. I got my ass mauled by mosquitoes. So there's that. And then Maui took us to the mountains. I'm not super duper proud of these pictures because I captured these with my Canon and I'm not really great with Canon. But this is my favorite photo. Look at this dude over here. Oh, chilling. Yeah, Maui, Betty, Berto, my peoples. But yeah, this is, as I mentioned, this is only the beginning, and I'm just really excited for to be able to go more places and explore. And like I said, conversation is of such a big part of who I am and what I want to do. And yeah, I'm just excited. Thank you everyone who tuned into the live. I'm so nervous. But yeah, if you're watching the replay again, please feel free to share some tips that have worked for you. Whether you're traveling as a photographer, as a storyteller, as a content creator, please let me know if there's anything that resonated with you. Any extra tips about like safety and stuff. I would love to do this kind of like I'm not great with TikTok. I really am not. I would love to do like a 15-second version of this. You see why it took me 40 minutes? I can't put that in 15 seconds, but like travel tips or whatever. I would love to be able to start doing that. But yeah, I'm going to stop talking now. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you guys next time. Okay, I'm gonna get out.